Hello all and welcome to Wow Crochet yet again for another tutorial. My name is Mary and in today's tutorial we are working on two things. Yes, I put them all in together, that way we don't have two small tutorials, we just have one big nice juicy one. Can I say juicy? Alright, so for today's tutorial we are working on firstly the drawstrings of our poncho that you see here, and then we are also working on washing and blocking our Kaleidoscope blanket. Now with the Kaleidoscope blanket, it's really big. You need some large blocking mats, and if you don't have them, all I could suggest for you to do is to pop them down on some towels and pin them down on some towels. Now, why do we wash and block? Well, you'll see in the tutorial why. Look how gorgeously straight each corner, each point and each edge is here. When I started off, they weren't. They bowed, they buckled, especially the large whiter side of our squares, especially those sides right there. That was the one that buckled the most. Now for that tutorial you'll need a bucket to soak your blanket in, and I only soaked it for a couple of hours. I was supposed to do it for an hour but I was so busy and I forgot and it soaked for 2 hours, so there you go. You will need some fabric softener if you like, or you can use, a lot of people use a little bit of white vinegar in the water, whatever suits you. You will need some pins that you're going to use. I use these pins here. I discuss them in the tutorial for you so you can work that out when you see them. You will also need some towels to help squeeze out some of the water. There was a large excess of water and it was just hard for me to squeeze. The blanket was bigger than me. What do you want? Anyway, oh, I got distracted. Sorry guys. So that's that. That's the blanket. Now for the poncho, you will need some cotton that you use to make the poncho with, some of the cream, or you can use any one of the colors that you like. You will need your 4mm crochet hook, your scissors and your needle, your darning needle, because you will have to weave in that end. There's one end I'm lying, there's two ends to weave in at the end. Alright, so that's pretty much all we're doing for the tutorial. Once again, it does go for a while, so I'm not going to talk anymore. We will start off firstly by doing the drawstring. Good luck guys. Alrighty guys, we are going to start off by making our drawstring first, okay? And there are many ways that you can make drawstrings. This is just one of them. First thing we're going to do is form a quick slip knot, and that's grabbing your tail end, wrapping it around your finger once and twice, holding it there and holding it there. Grab your back loop, pass it halfway over, hold it there, grab the other loop, passing it all the way over, and grab your hook, and there you go. Of course, remember we are using the same hook we used to make our poncho with, by the way. I think I mentioned it in the promo, but I'll mention it again. We're just going to chain up a gazillion chains. So a chain is yarn over your hook, pull a loop through once, yarn over twice. All right, let's just get a nice close up so you can see. And there you go, yarn over 3 and 4 and 5. All right, now I'm counting, but it's not necessary for this particular pattern to count if you are already an intermediate, okay? So just make as many chains as you can, and I'll show you in a minute. Let's just go for about 10 or 20 for now, okay? Just so I can show you the sizing of, I'm probably doing about 30 or 40 there. Sorry guys, I got a little bit chain happy. Looks like 20 or something. All right, so what you're going to do, whilst it is a chain, you're going to pop it on your poncho, okay? Once you start making the stitches itself, the chain does tighten up a little. So when we've done about, I don't know, 100 or 150 chains or 80 or whatever, always measure it up to your poncho, and the way I want you to measure it is to go all the way around your poncho, just like that. You don't have to pull it through anything for that one moment, all right? And measure it so that your thread comes down that far, whilst it's all stretched out nice and straight, okay? If it's all crunched up, then you've already drawn your drawstring. So when you do this, it's just going to shrink up and your ends will end up inside. You don't want that. So make sure you do your chains to go all the way there, right? Lay it out underneath, go all the way back here and then down here. All right. What I'm going to do right now, before I continue with my chains is I'm just going to pop an amount of chains that I did up there for you so that you can see we all pretty much made the same kind of poncho, okay, in the same yarn thread. If you made yours in a thicker yarn, then you may have to make the drawstring to suit your yarn, okay, so your drawstring might have to be a little bit bigger than ours. So that number you see up there right now, that's the number count that I used. Again, this is just a rough measurement. If you did like, say, 210, let's just say you chose 210 and you only did 208, it doesn't matter for 2 little stitches, okay? So it doesn't matter really exactly the amount. As long as you've got your drawstring that wraps around your poncho and the front bit, this is while the chains are on, lands there or even a little bit further down to your green. Okay, depends on how long you want your drawstring to be. Remember that once you tug your drawstring, it's going to become longer and longer and longer. So really you want your drawstring to be a little bit shorter here, not too short because you don't want it to pull through when you straighten up your poncho. All right, so just make your chains. Meet me back here in a moment. If by any chance we thread our chains through and you find that the chains are too long or too short, you can just take your chains off or you can add your chains. All right, so meet me back here when you've done your chains with the amount that you see up there now, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Alrighty guys, so here I have my 2.5 million chains. Yep. And look, you know, it was entirely up to you how many you had done. I'll just pop a number up on the screen so you can see how many I had done right there. And that way you can head off on your own if you haven't done that much and you want it the same size as mine. Then you can head off on your own and continue. I'll just show you the measurements of mine right now as well. This is how long mine measured. Okay, so you know how long to make yours roughly. It's a rough guide because, you know, we're all different, yeah? All right, now these are our chains that we made. Yes, I want you to turn your work towards you. Okay, now normally we would pop a single crochet in the very, not there, that's the stitch that we're actually in, right? We'd go to that one right there normally, and we're going to do that still. But let me get a nice close up, and I do apologize about my nails, guys. I can't get all the black nail polish out from our Halloween special that we did last week. If you're wanting to see the Halloween video, I've popped a link to the Halloween video, the special video, story time video, in the description box down below, and you can check that out. A little bit of fun, a little bit of silliness on my part, but there you go. So that stitch there would be the normal stitch that we go into, but what I want you to do is bring your work forward, and at the back you have these little bumps. Right, what I want you to do is pop your hook in the little bump, and what we're going to do is slip stitch across. All right, so there's your little bump which I've split. Of course I have. If I can get it in, a nice tight stitch in there, and I'll show you the bumps again so you can see. Pull your loop through and pull it through to the loop on your hook. All right, so get a nice close up of that little bump for you. It's just sticking up right there. Once you do 2 or 3, it automatically faces you. The little bump automatically faces you. So there's your second one, okay? And right there is your third one. You don't need to count, just go all the way across, just as long as you're not missing or skipping any of these back bumps, or you're not putting 2 in 1, and it should be okay. Otherwise, if you really want to count, by all means, go ahead and count, and all you're doing is slip stitching across. And again, this is one way of doing a drawstring, or a cord, if you will. You can call them cords as well. The other way is just by doing a row of a row of chains, like tripling your yarn and just doing a row of chains across, and that's it. And then tying them in a little knot at the end, okay? But this is the way I'm doing mine. Oh dear, I've just split that yarn, look at it. Oh, that's no good. Shh, don't tell anyone. All right, so I don't want you to sit here and watch me do these 2.5 million chains, yeah? So what I would like for you to do, there you go. You know what you're doing now with that. Slip stitch all the way across your gazillion chains. Get to the last, say the last 2 or 3 stitches there, and I shall meet you up. Alrighty guys, here are all my slip stitches all done. Oh, Took a while, didn't it? Not really long, but it did take some time. All right, so I have 2 chains left. It's a bit tricky to see these last 2 chains. There's my last stitch right there. I think mine turned out to be 198. It doesn't really matter. 198, 200, same thing. Well, a little bit less. All right, and there you go. Might have been 199 even. Just popping your hook in there. In your last one, grab that tail from your previous stitch. Hold it at the back if you can, nice and gently, and just pull your last one through. It's a little bit tricky, but just pull it through and then pull it through to the loop on your hook. And now pull up a loop. Yes. Give it a cut. Pull the tail through. All right, so thread your needle. You didn't really need to do that little loop with a knot before. For me, it helps me to weave it in later. Okay. Probably should have done it from the beginning, but never mind. All right, here we go. This is your very first tail. It doesn't matter which one's which. Either way, you have to find a way to weave these in. So that's already sticking in there somewhere. So what we're going to do is just find some stitches to go in and out. Now cotton, I don't know if you're working with wool, but cotton is a little hard to weave in. Splitting those stitches are really difficult. So you're just splitting or going through your stitches if you want. It doesn't matter. Weaving is, you know, oh, it's a craft and art in itself, isn't it? It really is. Just pulling that really tight. I might weave in a little bit more because I just don't think it's up high enough. Of course, I've got the wrong needle for this too, haven't I? Let's bring that over this way. That might be a lot easier. Ah, so much better. So just find some ends that you can split that needle into. When you get to the length that you like, you got to go back the other way, in a different area of course, because you don't want to unravel what you just did. A little bit tricky to work with smaller ends and thinner projects like this. Pass that tail through. So you've gone up one way, you've gone down the other, and guess what? You're going to go back up another. And that third time you do it will really lock this tail into place. That won't come undone. Okay? Well, shouldn't come undone. Okay, pop that through, and that's your first tail. All right, now I'm not going to show you the second tail. You know what you're doing. You just go to the same thing you did here, going in and out 3 times. You may not have to go as high up as I did there. It's whatever suits you. There's no right or wrong way of weaving in ends. It's a little tricky either way. You know what it's like. So in the meantime, I am going to show you how to thread your drawstring through your poncho. All right, so just nice and close up so you can see. There's the front of your poncho, yes? Now, there is the middle section of your poncho because you've got your cluster set in that corner down there. So all you're going to do is grab your neat end, if you haven't done the other tail yet, passing it through the back. So you're going into the front of that first space and passing it into the back of your second space. So you're just really going around it. So you're skipping over your next one, going into your second one. If I can get it, yes. Then you're doing exactly the same, skipping over one, going into the other. Oh yeah, oh, going into the other. Now you're going to continue to do that all the way around. And I'm just going to pop my little camera thing on speed here so you don't have to sit here and watch me do it all the way in the round. Alrighty guys, I hope you didn't pull too much and loosen that part, because that's not what you want. Okay, now we've got to the last part. I'm just going to pull that through there. Alright, now rubbing your poncho, straightening it out a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not really pulling at the moment, but that's what we want. It's kind of the look we're looking for. I just want to get it so that it's not pulling too much. Oh, we want to try and make it even on both sides. Just what you do is you hold the evenness that you want and just pull as much as you can to make it even, and then you lay your poncho flat, and there you go. Alrighty guys, oh, it's all fiddly now. Hello, too much. There you go. Now, like I said, you really needed to get your drawstring to come roughly on, look, it's a bit long there, a little bit short. I'll adjust it later. Alright, so there you go guys, ta-da! It's gorgeous. I'm sorry, did I laugh loudly in the camera there? My apologies. So there you go. Now, to be honest with you, I'm not going to pull mine as much as that in when I wear mine, because I tried mine on before and it's not that loose. It was a tiny, in fact, I don't think it was loose at all. I would have worn it that loose anyway, but I'll still wear it on our Wednesdays live this Wednesday at 4 p.m. so you can see what it looks like with the drawstrings on. Now, I may actually go ahead and make the 220 chain drawstring as well. That way I've got the two sizes for you. You can have a look at the larger size when we do the live as well. So join me this Wednesday at 4 p.m. Melbourne, Australia time, and Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Melbourne, Australia time, and you'll get to see the poncho worn in full with the redemption beanie as well. Okay. Oh, and by the way, stick around because we are going to be washing and blocking our Kaleidoscope blanket that we've been working on. The link to the Kaleidoscope blanket is also in the description box down below. It's the whole playlist. Just click on the playlist, find part 1 and work all the way through. And don't forget, before you head off and do your washing and blocking, to weave in that last end, and thanks for watching. Alrighty guys, I have my little cuddly sensitive wool washy thing here, and I'm going to pop a little bit in the lid. Let's see how much I can pop in. We'll put in about half a lid's worth. Oh, about 3/4 of a lid's worth. It doesn't matter, just put a bit extra water in there. So just pop it in the tub. Jeez, I hope you got that. Alright, now just run your water. Use half pot. Half hot and half cold. That might be a little bit cold. I'll add a bit more warm water in a minute. Sorry about how noisy it is, guys. Alright guys. I did pause it a little bit because it was taking too long to fill up. So there we go. Pop it in. Just toss it a little bit, turn it over a few times, and there you go. Alright. Now, just give it a bit of a squish down like that. Okay. Alrighty guys, now all we need to do is let it sit there for 1 hour, come back in an hour's time, and we'll get ready for blocking. So here we are with our tub. You've got some towels on the table here. Under the towels is the actual blocking mats that you're going to pin your blanket down with. But for now, I just wanted to pop your blanket out of the water and onto the towels. Hello, wake up, Mary. Onto the towels. So just grab your blanket. Now what you need to do is, I'm sorry, I'm leaning right over here. Might do it the other side. Well, I'm not leaning over the camera for you. All right, so what you need to do here, let's see how you're looking at that. Yeah, that's good. Might bring it forward a little bit. That's better. Perfect. Yeah. So all you're doing here is just giving your work a gentle squeeze in the actual tub for now. Just in the tub. Real big squeeze in the tub as much as you can. All right. I'm going to have to do a bit better than this. The blanket is far too big. That's why I've got 2 towels down on the mats, and I've got another towel that's going to go on top, and it's going to be squeezed inside the towel. And I don't even mind if the blanket's a little bit wet when on the mat, because you know that's what you want. You don't want it to be dry. The idea is making it nice and wet so that you can make it, you know, add it on your mat to suit the way you like it. So just keep squeezing and squeezing and squeezing. I think I'm done. The rest of the squeezing, there we go, I'm not done, is going to be done on the mat. Alright, actually on the towels that we are using. Just get rid of the tub for a minute. So what you're going to do, you're going to literally lay your blanket out flat. Alright, because this is where I get puffed out, guys. You've seen me do this before, and I really get puffed out doing this. Okay, already puffed out and I haven't even started. I'm having a funny feeling that our blanket might be far too big for the mats. Okay, so just keep spreading your blanket out. I'm pretty sure it's going to be too big for the blocking mat. Never mind. Okay, alright, so what you do, it's as straight as I can get it. All I do is pop a towel, if the blanket's this big, just in the middle. Then I pass the blanket over like that. I don't know if you saw that. I'll have a look, see. Yeah, you would have seen that. Good. And then I passed the other side over there like that. Trying to do this so that you can all see properly. And then I just roll it up. Roll, roll, roll. Roll, roll, roll. Roll, roll, roll. Pop it straight back in the middle there so you can see what I do now. And this is the fun bit. This is where I go like that. And get out as much, I don't know if you can see that. You can. And just get out as much of the water, excess water as you can. Again, it doesn't have to be completely dry. That's not what we want. It's okay for it to have a little bit of water in. It's fine. Because the idea is for it to dry flat on the mat and give us lots of lots of space for us to stretch the blanket for as wide as we want it. I won't be doing any stretching because this blanket is relatively big. I can see that. So I'm puffed out, guys. Don't laugh at me. But that's pretty much all I do. And you don't even have to, usually I put my whole body on it. I'm not going to do that while you're watching. And you don't even have to overdo it. So take it all out, taking your blankets off, popping them in a safe place so you don't trip over them. Okay, and those towels or blankets or whatever they are sopping wet now. And then you just grab your blanket. Yep, it's big. Oh no, actually we might just, oh that's perfect. Perfect, okay, good. It's only just going to fit on the blocking mat. Yay, I'm very happy. All right, now, okay, let me get a close-up of those squares. The blue you can see right there, that's the first square, all right? Now, to get it all done properly, the way it works is you're better off doing the edges first. So to get it straight, we're going to pin the sides down first and then we'll work in the middle, all right? So let's start with the edges. Now, again, there are many pins that you can use. These are the ones I have, okay? I have a mixture of different coloured pins and I also have what we call blocking pins, okay? These you can get, these ones here are, I think they're Knit Pro. Knit Pro, there's the label. Get a nice close-up of the label. I'm sure you can get them online somewhere or check with your local wool shop. And then you also have these, whoops, T pins. They look like the letter T. Some of them, they say they're rust proof, but I'm finding some of them are rusting. So I'm not happy. If your pins are rusted, don't use them. You will get yellow rust stains on your white yarn. Okay, so just a heads up there. Yep. So what I'm going to do is start with the close part, just so that you can see what's going down, okay? All right, so there is your first bit. Whoops, without dropping anything. And as you can see, I have stretched that blanket far too much on the points and not in the middle. So all we're going to do, because I know that this blanket is going to be way too big for this mat, so I'm not going to stretch it too much. I'm going to find some spots where I can pop it on. Alright, so I found another one of these. They go along the sides of your mats. They drop in like a jigsaw puzzle. Now this one's not going to go, so we'll take that off. Pop that there. Alright, well, gives you extra space to pop your blanket on. If your blanket's too big, you can actually pop it on those edges right there, which is what I'm going to do. You can pop it right there. So I'm going to pop my grey part right there. Again, you can use any pins you like. To do this part here, I'm just going to grab I might just grab the sides and we'll do the corners with a pin. Can you see? Let's just do that for a minute. How's that? That's better. So there's just a normal pin, and I'm just going to find the corner, just in the corner right there, and pop the pin in. Basic, basic. Then I'm going to grab one of these. Now, if you don't have them, don't fuss too much. Just use normal pins. Just going to grab one and pop it along the side there. Okay? Again, once again, you don't need those things. Just pop 1, 2, 3 pins there, 4, it doesn't matter, 2, whatever you want. Okay, now what you do is you do this on usually each corner that you come to. Now I'm going to start so that you don't have to watch me do. Okay, I just pinned myself, can you believe it? I just pinned myself. Let's have a look how far down that goes. Okay, we have to take that out, because this blanket is relatively big and I need to bring it all the way up here, like so. And there you go. Where's my first pin? I'll put it back in. Okay, one on one side and one on the other. Just on the corners for now, yes? Just so that you can see if it fits your blocking mat. I know it'll fit mine, but I'm just pretending like it doesn't. And just bring your work up and over towards the edges of your blocking mat, and do the same on the other side. All right, I know mine's going to fit and it will straighten up in the end. So I don't want you to watch me do the whole thing. What I will show you though is just doing some of it, so you can see with the normal pins what I'm doing. Because you don't have to use these big blocking pins, okay? You can just pop 1 or 2 pins along the edges here for now, and then later I'll show you how to pin the squares in the middle of your blanket. Now, doing blocking a blanket like this and blocking your average blanket are 2 different things, okay? Just give me one moment and I'll move everything around. Okay, I'll just move it this way for you so you can see what is going to happen next. And all you're doing, doing it like that. So you don't have to sit here and watch me. I'll put it on fast motion for you, just so that you can see how it ends up at the end. Just on one side, I think I didn't put that through any thickness. Making sure you're getting through some thickness and you're not just going through spaces. Okay, get it through some of the thickness of the yarn, which means maybe one of the stitches occasionally. But again, not necessary to over fuss, just as long as it's nice and straight. Make sure you're not pulling this. You don't want to be pulling it, okay? You want it to be able to just sit nice and flat. Sadly, my table is not big enough for this. Can you see me? No, you can't. All right, I'll just continue. We'll move this over a bit. All right. Okay, you can't see anything there, can you? How's that? That's better. Is better, don't you think? All right, here we go. Now, you don't have to do this. I wonder if you can see from there. No. But yours truly is going to do it. I'm going to pop another one of these here, but not yet. I need to pop a couple more. Another one there. And I'll put that away because that's a bit bent. And just one in the corner. Can you see that? Yep, beautiful. And again, you don't have to do this. This is just something I like to do. You could put 4 or 5 pins across there. It doesn't matter. It's whatever suits you. Okay, just trying to find easier ways to show you about, oh, by the way, I've left that there because these are the things that you use to put these side bits together. So you can actually buy more mats and attach. So if your blankets are too big, buy more mats and attach, putting these on the sides of your boards, like so. All right, so there you go. I'm going to let you head off on your own. Oh no, we won't. We'll do it together. I'll just pop it on speed. How's that? See me go on speed. Alrighty guys, here we go. We're almost at that top end again, which I've just pulled undone. Can you believe it? I just wanted to straighten it up. There you go. So what you have, let me see if I can bring that out for you. Alright, so a little difficult to see there. Okay, but that's it. Oh, it's so hard to get it all in. In actual fact, if you really wanted to know, the actual blanket itself is off the table by that much. Where are we? That much on both sides. So it goes to show you how big our blanket is. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to bring the camera nice and close. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do our squares as well. Why? Because we never blocked it beforehand. Okay, so all you're doing is you're finding each square. Remember the join that we put it together with? I don't want to yell on the camera here, sorry guys. Remember the join that we put it together with? These are the blues and there's your 2 greys and we joined it with the cream. Pop your pin in that join right there. And that, you are popping that on each side, like that. Giving it just a gentle tug in your cream, like so. So if you don't have a lot of pins to pop on the actual blue, then you don't need to. Yours truly does, so I'm going to pop some pins on my blue as well, because I want to straighten the whole thing up. I just don't want the points straightened up. I want everything straightened up. Okay, I tell you what, I just cannot get enough of this blanket. I love it so much. It's one of those things, isn't it? Now all I'm doing is popping the pins either in the blue or maybe in a little bit of the grey. See the grey and the yellow right there? I don't know if you can see that one. Right there. That's a grey and the yellow. Let me get a nice close-up for you so you can see them. All right, see where the pins are? They're not in any specific place, except for the points that you see right there, these ones here. But the rest, not so much. You're just popping them in any blue, but making sure it's nice and straight. Now that's going to stop any pulling, any, you know, shriveling up kind of thing. It's going to stop any of that. Now you won't have that with your first one. It's rather basic. It's your next few squares that you'll have that with. So now we're going to do the next few squares. We're going to pop our pins again in the points. Remember the points? It's where the yellow ones, well, if you did the same color coordination that I did, pop them in all of your yellow points. like that. All right, for now. That's not making it straight at all. That's just keeping it sturdy so you can straighten out your square. So now that I've popped them in, I can tell that that square is not straight. So I'm just going to do that, a little bit of that. I'm going to adjust it to suit me, okay? It doesn't make it perfect, but what it does do is it straightens to suit the way you want it to go. And washing and blocking, I can't get enough of this. I really think that every item you make, whether it's a blanket or a beanie or anything, should be washed and pinned down on a blocking mat. Not all stretched, you don't stretch everything, but these sort of blankets you can stretch a little bit to get them straight. But you know, beanies and things you don't stretch, but these ones you can. So I'm not going to let you sit here and watch me do the whole square. I'm just going to let you see it in fast motion. Alright, so as you can see, I popped it in there. These are things you don't need to do. Let's get a nice close-up. See how the whole square's been adjusted. Now if you find that that's a bit pointy, just give it a bit of a flat. If you find that's not straight enough the way you like it, straighten it the way you like it, okay? And that's all that is. So what I'm going to do is do our next colour, which is the yellow that you see here. So now what we're going to do, we're going to pop our pins in the grey points. So see those grey points right there. That's one of the grey points, okay? And there is another grey point right at the back. I don't know if you can see that, but there's one on the side here, right there. It doesn't matter, you know it's the very next square that we're doing, okay? All right, so what I want you to do, I'm going to stop it here. I'm going to get you to pop all your pins along the yellow line here, the yellow, and meet me back here when you're done. All right, guys, that's our yellow done right there. So now your biggest part is the big white bit that you see. See the white line that you see along here? This is your, oh no it's not, we've got the grey first. So that's your next side. So what you're doing is you are actually, can you see that? You can. You are actually popping your pin in the white where your yellow ends. Pop your pin in all 4 white corners, which is relatively, oh no it's not. Yes, it is the white, sorry. Where all those, can you see where I'm going? It's not going to come out anymore. Okay, let's bring it over a bit. There it is. See right there? That's where you're popping your pin. Let's get a nice close-up so you can see it. Right there. Okay, right there. So you are popping the pins around the grey border now, okay? So you've done your yellow and now you're doing your grey. And as you can see right there, it does bow a little bit. So this is where you can actually straighten it to suit you, okay? So go ahead and do that. And when you come back, my bow won't be as much. It'll be all straightened out. And actually I'll show you the first few bits and then you can head off on your own. Okay, see how that's already straightened up a little bit? The bow is no longer happening. All right, see how straight that is now? I'm going to do the same over there and the same on all 4 corners, okay? So head off on your own, do your 4 corners and meet me back here in a moment. All right, now I know it's very hard, difficult to see in this lighting, but there you can see no bowing, okay? No bowing on the grey at all. The grey is rather straight, there you go, all the way through, all right? So guess what? You have another square, and that's that big white one you see. Give me 1 second and I'll adjust the camera to suit. Alrighty guys, that's the best I can do without it blurring. It's starting to blur a little bit, but what I'll do is I'll show you the first few bits. You pretty much know what you're doing now anyway. There's your point way on the top end there where the grey is. I'll show you close up as well in a minute. And then you're going to move right over to your next point, which is right here. Remember, if this is a little blurry for you, sorry guys, remember that you pop them in all 4 points first, and then it makes it a lot easier for you to adjust it to suit. Give me 1 moment. Alrighty guys, and here is your other point. It's really difficult to see now because we've still got the pins of our border row sitting there like that now. So there's your point right there. Now what you need to do is go along your white line, which might be a little bit difficult because we've got white matching white here. So go along your white line and pin in all of your pins that you need, like so. Whoops, that didn't even go in any stitches. There you go. That's in a stitch now. And just go across your white line. You can pop it in the top, you can pop it in the bottom, whatever suits you along the white line, and I shall meet you back in a moment. So there you go guys, what you're seeing here is all the squares pinned down. Now I found that this section here was the most that bowed, the white. Now the reason being is because I rushed to get it done and the stitches were relatively tight. By washing and blocking, pinning them down, that's going to straighten out, which won't be a problem once it's all straightened. What we'll do, I will show you the blanket on Wednesday's live, so join me Wednesday live. I might even show you Saturday's live in case some Wednesday people can't make it, and then you can see how perfect it looks after a washing and blocking, so you understand why we wash and block. A lot of people say, I don't wash and block, I don't need to. That's fine, but I wash and block for this reason. Look how straight those squares are now. Yes, these little white ones right here, little tiny bit bowed. I'm going to fix that up a little bit there. I'll find that a little bit bowed on that side. So there you go, and that's all you need to do. Yay. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share and do all those wonderful things you do for me. And I thought I would pop both the tutorials in together so that way we can just have one quick one. And again, join me on Wednesday's live because I will also be wearing the poncho with the drawstrings that we made today as well. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe and share and all those wonderful things you do for me. And all I want to say right now guys is, ciao for now.